Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom, Shalom. All right, the title of this article, it says, Trump casts doubt on NATO security agreement. Quote, if they don't pay, I'm not going to defend them. All right. So, hey, this is biblical prophecy, yet again being fulfilled. You see, you know, NATO, the EU, America, they're all together, man. This is the beast that's spoken of in Revelation, man. All right. This, uh, you know, feet and toes spoken of in Daniel the second chapter, man. Which Lord wills I'll be able to bring that out and break it down. All right, but take a look at this. It says the president signaled that he would consider abandoning a key part of the NATO security pact if members don't spend more on defense. Right, which I've been looking into this today. Basically, Trump's getting ready to pull out of NATO. Any country in Europe that's not spending about, I think it's 5% of gross domestic product on defense. Basically, Trump will not defend them if they're attacked by Russia. Okay, and if you look into it, I believe the majority of NATO and EU countries are nowhere near 5% GDP for defense, man. So, basically, I don't think a single one of them, and I could be wrong, but basically the point is, we could look it up here in a minute, but the point is, um, you know, NATO and the EU are gonna be against America, man. Okay. Let's go into this article real quick. It says President Donald Trump cast doubt Thursday on a core tenet of the NATO security alliance that an attack on one member is an attack on all and must draw a response. Right? So, you know, they're supposed to be together, unified as one, but then you got Trump out here talking about, well, look, if you don't do this and that, well, I'm not going to defend you. Trump, speaking to reporters during a bill signing in the Oval Office, said he would reconsider the U.S. commitment to the security pact if members in the 32-nation alliance do not increase defense spending as he has repeatedly demanded. Well, he says, quote, well, I think it's common sense, Trump said. If they don't pay, I'm not going to defend them. All right. You could think about how, basically America is all these nations' bodyguard, right? All these European nations, America is their bodyguard, and Trump wants, his cut. Okay. And of course, he also goes into that, if America gets attacked, since they're not spending money on the military, on their militaries, that basically they're not going to be able to defend America. All right, which, hey, that's a good point. All right, but at the end of the day, hey, let it happen, bro. Let these nations, these Edomite nations, fight amongst each other, man, because that's all the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. The Lord is gonna bring these Edomites down, man. All right, this is biblical prophecy. The Lord is showing you that He's working, man. All right, He's getting ready to take down America. All right, every day we inch one day closer to the downfall of our enemy. All right, it says his remarks appeared to be an escalation of the anti-NATO rhetoric that was a feature of Trump's first term and helped inspire a law passed in 2023 and signed by President Joe Biden that requires either 2/3 Senate approval or an act of Congress for the U.S. to exit the alliance. Trump said he viewed NATO as potentially good, but he questioned whether the country's European allies will come to the defense of the U.S., right? That's what I was saying earlier, that, Trump basically is saying, look, if y'all don't pay for your own military and your own defense, how can you even defend us if something happens? All right, which, America knows they role. They're the most powerful. They got the military. So, for the most part, it's them that need America more than America needing them. Okay. But anyway, it continues. If the United States was in trouble and we called them, you think they're going to come and protect us? They're supposed to. I'm not so sure, he said. Last year, Keith Kellogg, who served on the National Security Council during Trump's first time and is now his special envoy to Ukraine, said he would advocate a policy of revoking security protections from nations that don't meet the NATO threshold of spending 2% of their GDP on defense. Trump's latest comments come at a particularly tense time with the U.S. withdrawing military and intelligence support for Ukraine. See? All right, which there was backlash from the EU and NATO, NATO from when Trump did this. Okay, when Trump was arguing with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. When Trump was arguing with the president of Ukraine, all right, the Europeans, okay, these NATO countries, went to go comfort him. All right, so yeah, they're starting to get pissed off at America. They're afraid. They feel like America don't got their back. All right, they're divided, man. All right, with the U.S. withdrawing military and intelligence support for Ukraine to pressure the country into accepting a deal to end the war with Russia. In response, European allies are mobilizing to increase their support for Ukraine to help it hold off the Russian invasion. You see, so, they're afraid of, Russia, man, okay? And they're trying to help Ukraine at least stay intact. All right, but hey, it's not gonna work, man. It's the Lord's will for you Edomites to go down, man. And Russia is also Edomites. The only difference is that Russia is not a part of the beast. Russia is not a part of, that Nebuchadnezzar statue. Okay, which we're gonna go into. It says Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who is a staunch supporter of Ukraine, even as she remains on friendly terms with the Trump administration, proposed her own adjustment to Article 5 on Thursday. Speaking to reporters at an emergency summit of EU leaders, she said that an effective security guarantee would be extending the reach of the defense pact to Kiev to ensure protection from all other NATO members. You see, so, Ukraine, they basically trying to protect Ukraine. Well, that's the end of the article. But, the point is, Trump is talking about ending the agreement, man. So he's putting a lot of pressure on these other nations. And these other nations, Salakia, not other nations, these other Edomites, which are, Edomites, which are, these EU and NATO nations, okay, they basically already been pissed at America for a while, man. You could look back at that thing with the pipeline, where America had destroyed that, okay. You could look at all these different things that's been going on in these past few years, and European Union is fed up. European Union and NATO is fed up with America, man. And now now you got Trump in office, that cruel Lord, okay, that fierce king, and he's putting hella pressure on everybody, making enemies all over the world. All right, this is perfect for biblical prophecy, man. All right. But yeah, I said I was gonna look it up. Let's get that GDP. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's see, Lord willing. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. So basically, you could see military spending of NATO countries and estimated share of GDP in 2017. So as you can see, America spends the vast majority of their GDP on, or the vast majority of the spending on the military. versus, when you compare it to these other NATO nations, man. All right. So it says 3.6% of GDP of America is spent on their military. All right. Which we know, of course, America is much richer than these other nations. So that's why you got this, big number right here. Okay. But look at this. United Kingdom is the next best, and they don't even spend more than 2.1%. Okay. Which that's, like the article said, that's the bare minimum. Okay, so basically, according to Trump, he's only going to defend the United Kingdom. And all these other NATO nations who are also members of the EU, a lot of them, okay, uh, uh, basically, they're not going to be defended, man. And I saw another article, or I was watching a video where he was mentioning 5%. So, it's possible he's going to raise that number, be like, nah, we're gonna up the standard. Y'all all gonna have to spend 5%. How about that? It is very well possible because that's how this cruel Lord Trump is, man. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that. Basically he's saying I ain't gonna defend none of y'all. You see? All right, which let's go into the scriptures here. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 31. Okay, this is the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had. And Lord's will, I could break it down real quick. It says, verse 31, Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. Okay, the image's head was made of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Okay, and this statue that Nebuchadnezzar has saw in his dream, okay, is right here. Okay, this is the statue. Okay, the head of gold, right? The torso of silver, the thighs of brass, the legs of iron, and the feet of, iron and clay mixed. Okay, and we're gonna break it down. Okay. Let's see here. Where were we? Right, his legs of iron and part of clay. Yeah, I'm gonna break that down. So basically, let's go back to that. So the head represents the Babylonian Empire, right? Which you can see here, ruled from 605 to 539 BC. Okay, this is that head. Okay, that's Nebuchadnezzar. All right, and basically, he's that head of gold, and it represents the Babylonian Empire. Right, so this empire had a lot of money in a concentrated area. Right, so you could think of a small area with a lot of wealth, and unlike the kingdoms that were to come, they were wealthy too, right? This, for example, the Medo Persians, the Grecians, the Romans, right? All these kingdoms that come after Nebuchadnezzar, they're wealthy, but they're more spread out. Okay, so they're not as luxurious, they're not as beautiful. Okay. And also the gold, right, is a softer metal. Okay, so Babylon was strong. They were the ruling empire at the time, but these kingdoms that came after became stronger and stronger. Okay, so the Medo Persians were stronger than the Babylonians. The Grecians were stronger than the Medo Persians. The Romans were stronger than the Grecians, right? America is stronger. Our NATO and the EU is stronger than the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire, which really, okay, these are the same empire because NATO and the EU is the revived ancient Roman Empire. America, okay, or Salakia, America is the revived Roman Empire. Okay. But let's go back. basically, you know, Babylon was the most luxurious. Then second place goes to the Medo Persians, right? Because each kingdom gets more spread out and more strong, but less luxurious. Okay, so that's the representation of that statue. But what we're going to be zooming into today is the bottom of the statue, which we're going to read it again. Daniel 2:33, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Okay, which, again, these feet represents NATO in the EU, right? The revival of that Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire, right? The beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. That's what this bottom area represents. Okay, that's the times we're living in now. This is the empire that's ruling the world right now. The divided kingdoms headed by revived Roman Empire, America. Okay, 476 AD to now. Okay, and yeah, man. So basically, let's go back into the scriptures, and we're going to scroll down to Daniel 2 and verse 41, and it's going to go into, what this represents. It says, "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided." Okay, and isn't that what you're seeing now? NATO and the EU, all right? These kings are divided, man, all right? Because America is talking about, they not going to defend NATO, okay? You see? So that's what's happening right now, man. All right? But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. Right? That's where you get that powerful military alliance with, America, right? And all the rest of these NATO nations. Okay? Verse 42. "And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken." You see, they're not unified. America's saying they're going to stop defending NATO. All right, which NATO nations and EU nations, they're all together, man. There's 27 EU nations, right? European Union nations. 23 of those European Union nations, 23 of them are also members of NATO. All right, so it affects both NATO and the EU. This stuff that's going on. All right, we know the scriptures talk about, a kingdom that's divided against itself. All right, it ain't gonna be successful, man. All right, just roughly paraphrasing. So let's go back into this real quick. So that's talking about NATO and the EU. All right, which again, that's also the beast. Okay, with 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, the EU represents these the 10 horns, Salakia, which let's get it. Revelation. Let's get it here, Salakia. This is Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, right? So that's what we're looking at now, the 10 horns. Okay. This represents the 10 original nations of the European Union, which at the time was called the EEC. All right, and now it's known as the European Union, which in modern times, bear with me, 27 members of the European Union, right? So there's 27 members in the EU right now. All right, and like I was saying, 23 of them are also a part of NATO. Okay, so basically, NATO and the EU, they all together. But, basically the EU, all right, represents nowadays 27 members. Okay, and then you got America, all right, which is the spearhead of this beast. It's the ruler of the beast. America calls the shots, man, just like Trump is telling them, look, y'all don't get y'all act together, I ain't gonna defend y'all. All right, but this whore, America, still wants to ride them, but she don't want to defend them, man, you see? All right, she still wants to control the EU and the NATO and all that, but she want to be a hoe, You see? And what's gonna happen to America if she keep doing that? The scriptures say, Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. You see? And the European Union right now and NATO is hating America. They are hating America right now. All right? They are so sick and tired of America's shit, but they need America. All right? They need America right now. So they put up with America until they don't know, until they eventually snap. And what's going to happen? It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right? The whore represents America. And shall make her desolate and naked. And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? That burning her with fire represents the thermonuclear destruction of America. All right? Through these intercontinental ballistic missiles. Right? That attack is going to be led by Russia. Okay, you're going to have Russia's allies and America's allies, the EU, okay, and NATO. They all going to fire their missiles at America, man. All these different nations that have nuclear capabilities, man. The scriptures say, those of you that bend the bow, right? I believe that's Jeremiah. All you who bend the bow. Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Right? All ye that bend the bow means all you nations that have nuclear capabilities, man. All right? All these different European Union and NATO nations. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, so you're going to have Russia, China, North Korea, all these different nations ganging up together with America's own allies, NATO and the EU, to destroy this bitch. You see? This is biblical prophecy, man. So we're getting closer to the end. Every day we're getting closer, man. All right? Every day. And what does that tell you? That tells you that the MOTB, the mark of the, right here, this is the beast, and his mark is about to be mandated worldwide, man. All right? These Edomites, these so-called white people who rule the earth in wickedness, they're going to mandate, right? Starting with the international banking families, they're going to mandate this mark, which is the charagma, right? The RFID, CHIP, and Neuralink that goes in the head. They're going to mandate it for buying and selling, right? So if you don't get their mark on your right hand, which is the RFID CHIP, or the Neuralink in your brain, if you don't get those, you won't be able to buy or sell according to the scriptures. Okay, and how do we know that that's coming very soon? Because these nations are getting pissed at America, man. These European nations are getting pissed off at America, and America is fighting with them. They're all divided, man. Like that statue was saying, man. Okay, and what does the scripture say about a nation that is divided, man? This is Mark chapter 3 and verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Okay, this beast is divided, man. All right, and what's going to happen is, just like all these previous empires before, they came and they fell. Okay, and the next empire came up right after them. The same thing is going to happen with sweet old America, man. It's going to be on fire from sea to shining sea. And then what's going to happen, man? This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, right? That's how this devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, gets his riches, by deceits, by treachery and lies, grape robbery and murder. All right? Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's what's going to happen, man. This, giant powerful empire, spearheaded by America, NATO and the EU, spearheaded by America. This empire is going to be translated to who? The Israelites. Yashar Allah. You so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. You are the Israelites, the true children of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right? And we're made in the Lord's image, and we're the ones who the Lord is going to set up to rule the earth in righteousness, man. A new world order. But it's going to be established in righteousness under Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and all these wicked ass empires, Yahweh Shai, being that great millstone, is going to come destroy the feet. And all these nations going to be broken to pieces, man. All right, the new kingdom will stand forever. All right, and call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai for that. All right, this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau. Who's Esau? Esau is Edom, the so-called white man. Esau is the end of the world, right? Meaning the final ruling empire is going to be a so-called white man empire. That's where we're at now, man. That's what America and the EU, Salakia, NATO and the EU is, man. Okay? Which, yeah, that's spearheaded by America. Okay? Right? So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, who is Jacob? Yasharallah, which are you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians, the 12 tribes of Yasharallah, Yaiquab, Jacob, Israel, right? Is the beginning of it that followeth. You see? So once Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, goes down, ain't no other nations coming into power, man. They're not Russia, not China, none of these nations, man. The Israelites, Yaiquab, all right? Under Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, man. That's going to be the kingdom of heaven, all right? That's what's coming very soon, man, all right? A world, a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's what we look forward to. That's what we hasten the day to, okay? We pray and hope that this happens very soon, man. All right? Because this kingdom is wicked as hell, man. This kingdom ain't shit. America ain't shit, man. All right? This place is trash. This place is just, oppression, sadness. It's just terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. And we pray that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai comes soon. So yeah, that's what's coming. Okay, the MOTB is about to be mandated, man, because these nations, and I saw another article that North Korea is not North Korea. Yeah, North Korea had already puffed at America, saying they're ready for nuclear war. Now China is saying they're ready for anything against America. They're ready to fight to the end against America. Russia been saying it, China saying it, North Korea saying it. They all together. Now you got the European countries over there, NATO and the EU, divided against America. All right, what do you people think is going to happen, man? Eventually, it's going to lead to the Third World War popping off in full gear. And ultimately, it's going to end with America being destroyed by way of fire, man. Okay? But as the scriptures say, before that happens, which we know it's leading up to that, firstly, the mark of the MOTB. Firstly, the mark, right? The MOTB has to be mandated for buying and selling. So that's what's coming, man. In the very near future, you can see they're already crashing the economy on purpose while this war is getting ready to happen. So all these things are happening in sync. All right. In the background, they're setting up that universal basic income or universal high income, as Elon Musk calls it. While at the same time, they got the robots ready to replace you people's jobs while all the prices of everything is going up. While they got these pestilences in the background ready to release them, man. Ooh, man. Hey, if you ain't tight and tied in with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you're gonna be caught unawares, man. All right, so stay circumspect out there, Yasharala. Keep praying, keep believing. All right, keep watching the videos, listening, learning. All right, if you a prophet, just keep keep making videos, keep doing the work. All right. I pray that lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakorash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom wa abababal.